Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Hanamar from CZT Shie Naritomi, and I hope I got that close. Oh my goodness, did we ever have so much fun with this tangle today? Oh, well, today, the time of this recording is Tuesday, and it's the third Tuesday of the month, which means it's Tough Tangle Tuesday. And that's a free session that I offer once a month, again on the third Tuesday. And I'll show you my results later. If you want to see the class replays and the blog post, if and when I get it accomplished, subscribe to my blog. You can go into the description section, click on the link tree. There's a link there for my website. And if you're subscribed to my blog, you'll get this daily tangle, which technically comes out on Wednesday, or is for Wednesday. But you'll see the replay, the recap when I send it out. And if you subscribe to my channel here, my YouTube channel, because I post them here first, so they go live here first, and then they go on the blog. So we have so much fun. All right, so this tangle starts with an orb in the middle of wherever you want it. And let's put it here. Okay. Then we're going to do some, I was calling it orbiting orbs. Say that 5 times fast, but that's what they are. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to do, well, if you think of an analog clock, it's so funny I have to say it that way. That might help, because I'm going to put 6 around here. And make sure to leave room, because we're going to do an aura around the outside. So don't put it all the way on the edge, as I was just about to do. All right, so what do we got? 12, 6 o'clock. Oh, those are lovely looking orbs. Okay. Then about 2-ish. Oh, it's a little close. And then what I do here is I try to find someplace in the middle. So instead of worrying about, oh, should be at, whatever it is, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever it is. 4 o'clock it would be. All right, so then we'll try to do the same thing here. I'm going to try not to think about it too much. Yeah, it's still too close, but that's all right. Okay. In the end, it's really not that close. All right. Now, there were several tricky parts. That's what also kind of qualifies it in my book, when I can kind of see, oh, this part might be a little tricky. Oh, and if there's at least more than one tricky step, that also in my mind qualifies it for Tough Tangle Tuesday. And like I said, even though a lot of people said, hey, this wasn't so bad, but, they get the point. Anyway. All right. So here's the thing with these ones. We're going to use the takeoff and land concept. And the takeoff and land concept is this, if you don't know. We're going to trace over here. That's our runway. All right. And then we take off. So, you kind of come away from the orb a little bit. This is going to be an S shape. And we're going to come down and we're going to land on the right side of this orb. And same thing, tracing around. That's our landing strip. Okay. So like that. And then we're going to go around and do the same thing. Let's move you. Okay. And I want to make sure too that, okay, there we go. I've been playing with stuff. I got stuff underneath my nails. Goodness gracious. Boy, I should clean up before I do this. I was finishing up one of the tiles that I'm going to show you. Okay. Same thing. And then, I know when I was doing, I think it was the second one, I kept fighting my brain, having it want to go on the other side, and it was just like, no, stop it. You just notice I just tracing over. Make sure, let me get up here. Okay, like that. I'm trying to watch the camera so I can see. I think you can see. Sort of. Let me move it here. Oh, well, I got those all done. But, and this is just going to bug me. I know I can. There we go. Okay, a little bit better. We can clean up those orbs afterwards. Usually when I'm doing, whenever there's a takeoff and land, it's just, it can kind of get messy. Okay, next. in between these, we're going to put more orbs. And what I have been doing is I was either imagining a straight line and putting the orb a little above it, or, if you can imagine a curve line. But what we had, oh my gosh, we have such creative people in our group that come and have fun on these tough tangle, on all of our sessions. And so if you don't end up putting it, wherever you put it, it's going to look neat, because we had some that were just really out there, and then, some that put them on, more towards the inside. It still looked amazing. So just like everything's Zentangle, don't worry about it. So let me just adjust this a little bit. Okay. Now, these orbs, we're going to do similar with the takeoff and land, but what we're taking off here on the opposite side that we were doing. So this is going to be on the left side, and then we're going to have our curve line come, and we're going to touch this line. So we're not going to the orb, but we're going to this line that we just made. Now, there is some extra fun that you can have. Let's see. Depending on how it lands, let me just do one. Let me see if I can put a little extra. Oh, a little curve. Y'all see, and then they end up sometimes lopsided when I do that. But maybe if I aim it down further, I'm going to try to, whatever you do, just do it consistently. And that's what I'm going to try to do right here. But I should have had this angled differently, but it'll be okay. I'm here to prove it doesn't matter what happens. There we go. Just down a little bit further helped. All right. Now, we're going to aura around the outside. Now, I was thinking, and maybe you're thinking too, oh, this is a weird place to, usually we'll aura the whole outside at the end. But this one, there was a reason I'm thinking that it was the reason, but what we're going to do, and it's not just, it's an aura, but we're going to aura all of the orbs. So essentially like a scallop. So a bunch of C-shaped curve lines like that. Feel free, of course, to, turn your tile as you go. Keep your hand comfortable. You can see I'm not doing what I normally like to do, which is use the natural curve of my hand, because then I have to reach all the way across, and that's just not good. I make concessions sometimes. We have to do that on occasion. All right. There we go. Next. All right, let me get to a good one here. Okay, this, and this kind of creates a backwards Y, I guess, but so looking right here, what we're going to do, and I am going to turn my tile, let me turn it this way. We're going to aura, it's kind of like what we just did, but we're doing it in between these lines here, if that makes sense. So let me just do like that. And you see the neat, I guess it'd be, I don't know if you would call that a meta shape, maybe, that it makes it look like, oh, this is a big, like it's something else. So like this is tucked underneath here, just by putting that, that curve line there, or double curve line. I don't know, it's just, I'm fascinated by these kind of things. And part of me is like, how do you even think of that? It's just so neat. Oh, look at there. I got to cover up that little line that I made by accident. Okay. And so what I'm trying to do, I'm just kind of eyeballing, and it doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but I'm eyeballing, to see if I can get the curve line like that to kind of meet up underneath that, where it dips down. But we had somebody in our AM session that had, it seemed like the peak was like, it was like way over here or something. Anyway, it definitely didn't line up, but it was amazing. It was so neat looking. So don't worry about however it turns out. It's not supposed to necessarily turn out like this, or the samples that, that are in the description section. You get the basic form and then just go with whatever happens. And, as Rick and Maria say in their book on Zentangle, be surprised at the result. That's what we want. Okay, now we have here's these long sections left that are, where the curve lines are kind of coming, back to back. So on these, we're gonna aura as well, and it's kind of similar to this, but it's really long. But what I found is, and it depends on, you have a lot of things that you can think about on how thin you want this aura, how thick, and other things that I'll show you in a minute. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna pick a space like this and like that, and that's it. I might even make them a little thicker than that. There we go. And it's one of those, you can aura whatever shape you have there, or not really. I mean, you could just it could just kind of go straight down. I just like to aura because I don't know. I just feel like I need to. But look at, as it's getting done, look at the neat shape that it's turning into. And now I'm noticing, okay, I've got all these little sloppy places, and so my brain is going, all right, how are we're gonna fix those somehow. Yes, we will indeed. And I have some ideas, but this is essentially it. And then it's just up to you to decorate. And how fun. Okay, first off, for my decorating, we are gonna because keep looking at this here. I'm gonna call it an excuse for an orb. I'm just kidding. All right, and I'm just gonna put the little round shine in there and fill it in, and look at it is now beautiful. So when it comes to decorating, that is one of the things. It's like, okay, how do I fix it? I guess you could think shading first, then fill in. Just kind of like a checklist. Which is gonna work on this, and that helps. Or it's just don't worry about it. That's That's the ultimate goal, is to get to not worrying. But the fill-in is nice because, number one, I can fix all of the little bumps, and then two, because they were kind of inconsistent in shape, and so you can just adjust, and it's all good. And when I do that, let me move this, I'm just kind of tracing over the edge a little bit, especially where I want it to, where I want the shape to change, or if it's just, bigger in general, or the whole thing needs to just be evened out, it ends up working out good. All right. And then we'll do, well, let's share a little shading. A shading idea, like I said, and then I'll show you the result, and look at that. All right, let's get that cleaned up. I tell you, this art form is so nice, especially in that, let me do all of these little orbs. I was trying to get them all in kind of the same place if I'm looking at it this way, but I don't like reaching over the whole tile to fill them in. But Zentangle is such a neat art form. Once we can get our head around the idea of that, there's no such thing as a mistake. Happy accidents, we can call them. Occasional opportunities presented suddenly. There was another one that I should have written down, but I didn't, that somebody came up with that was brilliant. I will have to go back through some chats and see if I can remember. It was, same idea, but just really neat. Okay. Probably should do that center too, shouldn't I? It will match. Oh, but wait. If I'm looking at him, which way am I looking at him? That way. All right, that's better. Okay, and this one, let's do this. And then, sorry, this is another option if you've not seen. It seems like I've done this on maybe the last few. But I'll leave that gap there. And I make the orb and everything bigger than it needs to be. And then, so like for here, oh, no, that's too big. So we'll take a little bit off of here, a little bit off the bottom. And that just turns out really, really neat. A little in the middle. And there we go. Okay. Now, here's some shading ideas. Or a shading idea. Because one of my thoughts with shading is where things tuck in or where things gather. So I'm going to go with the tucking in part. And if you look, it's like, well, this looks like it tucks under that line. This is kind of tucking under there. This is, well, it's meeting in the center there. So I'm going to put the graphite on the outside of that line. And we'll do that for all of them, all of that same kind of line. Oops, here, yeah, and I do want to come up to the orb. And of course, you can tangle in here. It essentially becomes a reticula. Oh, I have a nice new shiny Tortillion for today. I was going to use it this afternoon and didn't end up using it, so. And then I'm kind of sweeping it around the orb. And just bringing it out a tad. Look at how that's creating that dimension. So cool. It never gets old. It really never gets old. Or I should say, if it does, then I'm done. It's so magical. Oh, that's neat. And all of a sudden, it's like they're like I guess it'd be fins and a fan, and all of a sudden they have shifted. Okay, there is still another place though, like right here, where this is tucked in. And then it, well, see, that's already tucked in there, and I think I did, and I was like, oh, let's just do the whole side, and then they match. But you could just do a portion, like you could just do there if you wanted to and leave the rest. It is up to you to have fun with. All right. And then two, if you keep your of course, your pencil and your Tortillion pointed, or having the point where you want this to be the darkest, that really helps. And then, so I'm not necessarily using a circular motion, more of a kind of a back and forth, because I want to create that gradient, but I don't want it to go out too far. Did I get it all? I think I did. And then we can just kind of go around the orb a little bit, just to neaten it up. And there we go. It's just so neat. It really is. And of course, there's other things that you could do with it. I might do, you know what though? I don't know why I'm feeling this need, but I'm gonna put these little lines. I forget there was a name that I think Zentangle came up with it when we were doing our tangle enhancers. I have to remember what it was. They were needing something. Yeah. And I do feel like something is needed up at the top. I just don't know what yet. So while I think about that, let's put that the way it should be, or the way I want it to be, I should say. Oh, so neat. All right, so let me share with you what we did this afternoon. Oh, it was a lot of fun. And so I decided I wanted to do this on Zendala. This isn't quite done, but this one I did the shading in the same manner as this, but I was using blue. So, yeah, just super neat. Super neat. And then this one, so this is something you can do with it. If you look at the For More Inspiration link and look at Shie's sample, and now hers, I would dare say, it's more well done, and these bits are a lot thinner. I was trying to get to that, but just take a look. It's really amazing. So let me just. Okay, this is easier. So if you wanted to create this, so here's one just the way it is, right? This is the other half. All we're doing is we're using the hollow bow technique, which is the art of drawing underneath, right? And just, let's continue this line on the other side. And, taking it down to the orb is what I did, because that's what it was in Shie's sample. But somebody else on one of the sessions just kind of just went whatever direction it went, and then they stopped whenever they wanted to stop, and it looked so neat. So it's just it's all up to you. She also now see, this depends. I didn't do this because I don't think I have any that if this part was like up higher or something, or if these were lower, because she also like continued this the roundness into this space. So if you take a close look and you'll see it's in the shading. So there's maybe one, I see 3 of them that it's real apparent what she did. Where some it's just like a little sliver. But anyway, I just wanted to share that because oh how fun. And then I had to do a marble because I don't know, I just felt like I needed to do one, and it's been a while, so that was fun. Anyway, just like I said, a really, really neat tangle. Lots of options with this outside of the fact that, just adding in tangles, all over, that alone is enough, besides doing something a little extra. So it's all up to you, whatever you feel like doing. Have fun with it. That's the name of the game. And let's see, I've already, and if you enjoyed this, I should start with, I would love it if you click the like button. And I already mentioned subscribing, and so if you like it enough to see more, and you want to see the replays when they come out, do click this to subscribe. Also, just so, and I haven't mentioned this in a long time, if you don't like getting notifications, and you didn't know that you can turn those off, you can turn those off. You just click that bell, and so you can turn them on or off. I always said I'd much rather have you be a subscriber and get no notifications than be like, oh, there's that Heather again. I try not to. I post at least once a day. Sometimes there might be 3 posts in a day because when I upload sessions, but I would rather have you not be annoyed with, oh my gosh, there's that Heather again. Oh, gee whiz. It's just going to unsubscribe. So just turn off the notifications, and then it's all good. Because you could always come back. You go back to your YouTube, and you can see who has content up that's fresh. All right. I mentioned I didn't mention links to the step outs. I sort of mentioned it. So you can take a look at Shie's step out and sample, which is amazing. I also have my own version of it in there as well, because I always do that. Below that is a link to my link tree, where you'll find links to my website, Facebook page. So if you're interested in attending something like this, you follow me on. There's a couple other links of places that I post classes. If you're on Facebook, follow my page. If you want to hang out with a bunch of amazing tanglers, just a super fun and supportive group of people, there's a link for the Tangle Addicts community group. There are 4 questions that you have to answer in order to gain entry, but that's it. And then it's, it's just a lot of fun. And so when I post things on Facebook, I also post in the group, so you will find, links to the sessions. All other links there, social media, etc. It's all self-explanatory. If you have questions, there's also a link for my email. That's why they call it the link tree. So anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.